Ubiest of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus. Thank you guys for tuning in. I won't keep you long because I'm here in Laredo waiting on a load, so it's hot. So I have to turn the truck off so you don't have to hear all that rumbling while I'm talking to you, okay? So I got a question from a subscriber, and he's considering doing flatbed, and he asked me, what I thought about pay versus doing dry van or refrigerated. Okay, and first off, you guys know me. I'm just gonna tell you what my experience is. This is why this is called 50 Plus Truckers Journey. I'm just gonna tell you what my experience is. I did them both. I'm doing flatbed right now, and before I came to Melton and run flatbed, I did dry van and refrigerated trailers with Swift. And before you start bad mouthing Swift, let me first tell you, if somebody is talking trash about Swift, one or two things: either they had a bad experience when they worked there, or they never worked there. Okay, which may seem like a duh thing, right? No, but what I'm saying is, when people have bad experiences, no matter where they go, their viewpoints about that place is going to be negative. Okay, and I did really good there, and I had zero problems till the last day. Okay, the last day it fell apart, and I didn't feel welcome anymore when I left. Okay, but for a year everything was just fantastic. Okay, so don't just start bad mouthing that company, because they're not worthy of that. Okay, they're not what the internet says they are. Anyways, that's not why we're here. I just hate to hear people talk stupid. Okay, anyways, I did them all, man. I did the dry van, I did the reefer, and I'm doing flatbed, and there are obvious differences. Okay, the obvious thing is, man, when you're doing pulling those boxes, man, you really don't have a lot of manual labor. Okay, what I probably did the most is sliding the tandems, because sometimes you have to because on those, of course, you can slide the tandems on a trailer to get your weight correct. Okay, and when you're first getting started, man, I learned that you can go back to the same loves and get reweighs for nothing. Because hey, man, when you don't know how to balance the load yet, you're still learning. The most difficult part of that job is going back and forth, getting trying to get your axle weights correct. God forbid you have to slide the fifth wheel on them suckers, because you got too much on the steers. You got to slide the fifth wheel to get it. There's a little bit of work, but for the most part, man, it's once you learn how to balance the weight, it's nothing. You just go back there and you go, okay. You look at your trailer and you'll know, your trailer weight, and you'll know how many holes to move the trailer, and you move it and you're done. So it's not that big a deal. The opposite of that is flatbed, because we work. Okay, and I still don't believe the amount of work that we do is is greater than local guys, because local guys doing touch freight, shit, those guys work, bro. I mean, they are humping it, and they're doing it all day long. With flatbed, we're going to, let's say you're OTR, you're going to pick up a load, you're going to secure that load, you tarp it if it needs to be tarped, and that's going to take a few hours that day, and then you're just driving for the rest of the day or for the rest of that journey until you get to your final, and you have to undo all of that work so that you can then of course remove the freight. There are a few things extra, like equipment care. You'll have to, repair ripped tarps, inspect your straps, and I try to inspect them when I take the straps off of the load and I'm rolling them up. I try to keep my eye on them and see if I see a strap that I don't really like it. I think it, if the DOT looked at it, it might be an issue. And so if that's the case, then you have to discard that strap. So that means you need to carry more straps than your loads would normally take, so you can have some fresh ones when you have to get rid of the old ones. But anyways, there is extra labor outside of driving the truck when you're doing flatbed. And here's where you're gonna have to weigh your options, okay? Again, guys, listen, you know me, I'm gonna shoot you straight. Not everything is gonna be shiny and roses, okay? But I'm gonna be honest with you. So most of the guys that are watching this are new drivers. That's what this channel is. That's the rookie channel. It's for the new guys. You will not get into a new flatbed job at 62 cents a mile, okay? You're new, bro. It's gonna take you a little while to get the experience and work your pay up, okay? That's just the way it's supposed to be. And if you can't jive with that, I don't know what to tell you. That's not reasonable for you to think that you're gonna get in right out of the bat and be making that, okay? So I don't want to tell you what that figure is going to be, but I would imagine it's going to be, it could be 10 cents less, okay? It could be 8 cents less, okay? But you will eventually get there if you keep driving, okay? So what I did was pick a solo week, meaning I'm a regional driver, by the way, so it doesn't matter if I have a student or if I don't have a student. My miles won't change because I pick up and deliver every day, okay? So I picked a week that I had some tarp pay, so that, and we'll talk about all of those things. But for right now, I want to tell you what's basic, okay? So I'm a regional driver, and I did, I got some notes here, so I'll be kind of looking down at my notes so I don't mislead you. I did 1,739 miles in the week that I'm going to break down for you, okay? And remember, my pay is 62 cents a mile. Now, I said a whole bunch of stuff before I said this, and you're going to start putting it together here, okay? So, all right, so at 62 cents a mile, at 1,739 miles, that's a gross of $1,078, okay? That is not the typical week, okay? Just so you know. But hey, I'm not gonna go sifting through and find, you know, a $2,000 week and then say that's the norm, okay? So, remember I told you guys about the securement. It's the reason why we compared the dry van and flatbed. There's work in the flatbed that you don't have to do. You don't have to do all this stuff when you're doing a dry van, right? All right, so if you get mile pay, or even if you got percentage pay, it doesn't matter. It's paying you to deliver that load, which means everything that you do is included in the pay, which means all of the work that you do, the securement and unsecure, you know, rechecking the load, doing load check, tire checks, and all that stuff periodically as you're driving down the road. You're gonna pull over and check the load, you know, tighten your straps, you know, removing dunnage, moving the dunnage from location to location, all the stuff that you do, tarp repair, all of those things that I was talking about comes out of that CPM or the percentage. It comes out of that. It's not additional. So it's not like you're going to get 62 cents a mile to drive the truck. That's what you're getting paid for. And then you're going to also get paid to secure the load. You don't get paid to secure the load separately. That's included in the cent per mile. You follow me so far? All right. Which you don't, that's not a part of dry van and reefer, okay? So this is what I'm still answering his questions, okay? Which was a good one. Okay, now, so let's say you did a mediocre, midline, I want to say mediocre, midline skilled labor job, okay? We have to have a CDL license to drive this truck. You don't have to have that to secure it, but what good is it to know how to secure it and be able to secure it if you can't drive it, right? So let's go to somewhere like a journeyman plumber or something like that. I'm trying to get somewhere reasonable. If you work the docks at you know, UPS or Amazon or something like that, I would venture this zone $20 an hour would be about right, okay? And in those jobs, you don't even need a license. But $20 or so per hour is about what I would put you at, okay? So, if you if you take that $20 per hour and apply that to what you did not get paid for. So you did not get paid to secure and unsecure. You do get tarp pay, okay? So we're not going to include tarp yet. We're just talking about a regular load. And by the way, call around, and you're probably not going to find a company as a company driver where you're going to get paid better tarp pay than you get here at Melton. That's just a fact, okay? And I know that because I called recently and inquired recently. So I know what I'm telling you. Anyways, so if I did 5 loads, because remember I'm regional, so I pick up and drop off every day. So 5 loads per week. And you're going to pick up and well, on both ends, you're going to have to secure that load. And when I say 2 hours, I'm talking about sometimes it takes you longer to secure a load than at 1 hour. And sometimes it takes them longer than 1 hour to get you loaded. In fact, in the trucking, we have 2 hours before you could ever even get paid waiting to be loaded or unloaded. They have 2 hours to just let you sit there. Okay, but what I'm talking about is securement time and a little bit of loading time. Okay, it's still your time. It's still coming off your DOT. Okay, and that's reasonable, guys, because even if you didn't want to include the wait time in that securement time, there are times where that it takes you longer than an hour to actually secure a load. This is a fact. So, you know, again, I'm not trying to bullshit you. So, anyways, if you did $20 per load, front and rear, you're going to be right about $200, right? That's what I added up. I said it's $200. And that's light, by the way. Giving you 10 hours in a week for 5 loads to do that. I mean, that's basically, I should be doubling that, to be honest with you, but I'm trying to be reasonable. Okay? When I say I should be doubling it, what I mean is, if it's $20 an hour, that means $40 to on the pickup side of it, and then $40 on the drop-off side of it, which would be $80 per load times 5 loads, okay, which is greater than 200. But I'm just trying to use some easy math here, okay, and not just gut this thing. But remember that point, okay, that I'm not even going, I'm only giving half, okay, so remember that. Now, so if you take the $200 and so basically what you would do is add up what you made, which is what we say $1,078, and then the $200 that you did not get paid for, and take that off. Now you add $878 for the week. Okay, and now you take that $878 and divide that by how many miles you drove that week, and then you're going to find out how much per mile, cent per mile, that you were getting paid. Okay, really on the real, and just under 51 cents per mile is what that comes up to. Remember, we only did 50%, so actually it would have been like $400 off of work that you didn't get paid for if you were getting paid $20 an hour to do your job as a skilled laborer. And if you don't think securing a load is skilled, then you may should ask some of these guys whose loads ended up in the middle of the interstate, and find out if it's a skilled labor, and find out if it ain't worth $20 an hour. You goddamn right it is. Do it in 113 degrees, and then tell me if it ain't worth $20 an hour. Or wait till next month and then go up there to Michigan, okay, and tell me when you freezing your fingers off that ain't skilled labor, it ain't worth $20 an hour. Of course it is, okay? So when you start searching and making your decision, should I do dry van? Should I do flatbed? You know, should I pull that box or pull the skateboard? And then you find out that the dry vans pay less CPM than flatbed. You just got a little tutorial on why it's that way, and then you need to find out or make that decision whether or not that is, if it's worth your time. Okay, basically what we're doing when we work, we're trading our labor, our time in the form of labor for money. That's what we're doing as a worker. That's just the definition of it, right? So what you need to do is find out whether or not driving a box and getting paid so many cents less. 'Cause again, I'm not going to tell you. You need to call and find out how much you're going to get paid if you signed on with Melton or any other flatbed company that you're thinking about, and then find out what a dry van company and then you'll see the difference. And roughly speaking, I just calculated about 9 cents, probably closer to 10 or even 12 if I had done the math in its totality. Okay, basically if I'd added the both ends, picking up, and $40 for picking up and $40 for dropping off, in energy and time of yours and labor of yours, that you really don't get paid for that separately. Okay, it's again a part of the CPM. All right, so I was going to make this 2 parts so it don't have to be long, so I'm going to do this second part kind of quick. Okay, there are some things that you're going to get additional work, and so it's additional pay, and tarps is one of them. And you're going to find out, if you call around to a whole bunch of flatbed companies, you're going to find out that Melton pays more reasonable than any other flatbed company. Okay, but even here there are some caveats. Like I said, you're gonna wish things was done a little bit different, even though Melton pays better than the rest. That I know of. Okay, so don't be so, oh no, my company paid me $500. Hey, listen, good, bro. Put in the comments where you work, because I like to call them and find out what's up over there. You know what, money may give you a referral bonus. So listen, so you pick up a load, tarp that load, and then go deliver that load, and here you're going to get $100 for it. So you're actually getting paid to do that labor. Okay, $100, bro. Again, industry tops that I can tell, that I can see. Okay, again, I could be wrong, but from what I've gathered, yeah. All right, now last week I had a multi-drop load. So let's say you pick, multi-drops means I'm gonna pick the load up, and then on the trailer there may be 3, 4, 5 different stops on the trailer when I pick it up. Okay, so that means every time that I touch that tarp should be $50, right? Because you get $50 to tarp it, you go to the final, and you get $50 to untarp it. But when you have a multi-drop load, when you get to each one of those stops, you still have to untarp that thing and retarp it, and then untarp it and then retarp it, and then untarp it and then retarp it, and then untarp it and retarp it the final time, like that. So you would think that if you had 3 drops, that you would get $50 for each drop, $50 to tarp it for the first time, and then $50 each time you drop it, because you're doing the same work every time. But that's not how it works. Some companies don't pay you jack to do that, and Melton does. We get, I think I wrote that, so make sure I was right. Okay, so it's $10 additional tarp pay every time you untarp that load. Okay, so it's not 50. It's not, the first time it's worth it, but the other times it's not, I guess. And by the way, if you are a Melton Driver and you got a multi-drop load, let me give you a little word to the wise. Make sure you tarp it and untarp it, and then retarp it and untarp it, and then retarp it and untarp as many times as it has on that paperwork. Because I'm gonna tell you something. This happened, okay? At another driver we picked up at the same place. We both had multi-drops, and we got, I think our first drop was the same, but I didn't see him at the rest of the drops. So I think he must have had to go to different locations for his final drops. No, I'll take that back. I'm sorry. His first drop was not my first drop, or he went to the wrong place first, and that might have been what it was. Or maybe I went to the wrong place. place first. I don't know. Anyways, I met him up at the second drop. I watched him tarp the first load at the chipper. I'm sorry, I watched him tarp, but we went to the second drop and his load wasn't tarped. Okay, and he beat me there, and I didn't know that his load wasn't tarped until he showed me his paperwork. He said, "Hey man, the shipper, the consignee wrote on my paper that the load was not tarped, but I tarped it." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw you tarp it." And then I was like, did you after your first drop, did you re-tarp the load?" "Well, it was only this far away." That's why they put on there that the load was not tarped. Okay. So 2 points there. Point number one, if you're paid to re-tarp the load, even if you don't like or you don't believe that it's fair, the amount of money that you're getting paid, $10 to some of these loads, man, they may take 3 tarps, bro, and they could be, tall loads, and you got to take the tarp off, and you don't just pull it back up there. You got to roll the thing back up in some sort of fashion where a forklift can get it and put it on top of the load, and you got to crawl back up on top of that and roll that thing back out. It's not like you can pull it off in a big old bundle onto the ground, then the forklift can put up back on the load. That's not what happens. So you have to go through the whole freaking process of rolling the freaking tarp up in some sort of organized fashion so they can be put back on the load 3 times. Because the first load, your first drop, could have pieces on the trailer that 30 feet long, which means all 3 tarps got to come off. I get it, but listen, you still got to re-tarp it. But this is the thing that is frustrating to me, and I don't mind saying it. It just is what it is. That second drop, who told him, who wrote on his paperwork that it wasn't tarped, that second drop expected for that load to be tarped. Okay? Which means they paid a tarp fee. They definitely didn't think that it was just going to get tarped for free. They paid a tarp fee. So did the third drop. So did the fourth drop. So did however many drops that was included on that run. Let that sink in for a minute. Hey, listen, everything ain't gonna be sunny and roses, okay? But I will tell you the truth. Every time I get behind this camera, okay, and take up 30 minutes of your time, I hope I'm giving you some food for thought, okay? Now, let me end it with this. What we're doing as a flatbed driver, if you come to Melton, you're gonna do flatbed, you're gonna do step deck also, okay? And you're gonna get training superior to most. I'm talking about you're going to, when you decide to leave Melton and go anywhere, just tell them you worked at Melton. Wear this shirt to the interview. I guarantee you they ain't gonna let you leave that until you sign on that dotted line. They're hiring you immediately. Okay? Because it's done right over here. All right? And even if there's some things that you feel like you got the old Pringles can, okay, the good outweighs the bad by a long shot. And the biggest difference between flatbed and refrigerated, after you've gotten some experience with being a reefer driver, you're gonna drive the hell out of a reefer, and you're gonna continue to do that forever. But when you do flatbed, it's open deck. Okay, you're gonna go from a flatbed to maybe a stretch flatbed. then maybe RGN, then maybe 4-axle tractors, or 20-axle trailers. And every time you add an axle, you add more money. That don't happen in dry van and refrigerator. You just gonna dry that box forever until you just don't want to do it no more. But what I'm saying is, the upside to open deck is you can continue to graduate and make more money along the way. Okay. So 30 minutes. Hope it was worth it. I hope it didn't seem like 30 minutes to me. So I hope it was worth it to you guys. Okay. Please, thumbs up. Please subscribe for me. You see, I don't put out a whole bunch of content like I used to. Not saying that ain't gonna happen again, but I need you to give me the thumbs up so these more people can see this. It helps to cattle prog YouTube's algorithm, since I don't load up every day like I used to. Subscribe if you can. I really appreciate it. Like I just said, I'm not gonna bug you until I see you again. Deliver Undistracted. Here's your boop.